Several months ago, Relic got a telephone call from John Griffin offering a letter written in 1860 from California by Mason Bates to his wife in Dumfries, Virginia. Mr. Griffin, as a teenager, had found the letter in an old trunk in Prince William Forest Park. He had thought that the letter was cool, and he'd kept it, but now he thought that perhaps it belonged in Relic. This started the fascinating project on the Mason Bates family. This page appears to be the address panel. However, as was the necessity at this time, all the paper was used. So the top has a little bit of the letter on it as well, and it says, "Write to me as soon as you get my letter. Direct it to Big Oak Flat, Tuolumne County, California. Mason Bates," and appears to be addressed to Louisa Bates, Dumfries, Prince William County, Virginia. This page is dated Big Oak Flat, Tuolumne County, California, December the 23rd, 1860, and says, "My dear Louisa, it's been 3 years since I heard from you and my children." He goes on to say, "You are my wife as long as you breathe the breath of life." And also on this page, it does say that he has had bad luck while he was in California. He goes on to say, "But my dear Louisa, I suppose you have got another husband, but it makes no difference to me. I thought I would better my condition by coming to California." He continues and says, "Write to me and tell me about my family and friends." He asks about his mother, unfortunately does not give her name, but he also asks about his friends. Many of them he give their names, and tell them that old Mason Bates still lives. What can we find in California on Mason Bates? Well, the 1860 Tuolumne County, California census shows an M. Bates in Big Oak Flat, of course. He is 32, he's male, mulatto, a minor, has $50 in real estate. He was born in Virginia. Boy, that really helps us to give a clue as to the Prince William County family, because there is a prominent Prince William free black family called the Bates family. There's even a town that was named for them. So that he is probably a member of that family, or this would be a good place to go look for him. So if we hadn't have had this letter, we would have never probably picked an M. Bates as the right person, but I think we've got it. Next, we find a listing for the death of Mason Bates in Mariposa on February the 29th, 1868. He was colored, 41 years old. This came from a newspaper. Oh gosh, I guess he never made it home. There is also a listing in another newspaper, the same listing, showing that Mason Bates died in Mariposa February the 29th, 1868. He was colored and age 41 years. What can we find out about the family in Prince William County? The 1850 census showed a Mason Bates, black, age 23, boatman; Louisa Bates, age 21, Lawson Bates, age 3, Mason Bates, age 2/12. While the 1850 census does not state relationships, it does sure look like we've got the right family here. Let's research a little bit further. The first time Mason Bates has been found by name to date is in the 1841 personal property tax list of Prince William County. He's in the lower district. That's the district below Cedar Run and the Occoquan, which is where Dumfries is. He is listed as colored, one free male over 16. Mason Bates colored is found in the 1842 to 47 and 49 to 53 personal property tax lists. In the 1853 personal property tax list for Prince William County, it shows him as one free Negro between 21 and 55, with 1 horse, 9 cattle, and 1 clock. There is a deed of trust dated 9 August 1853 between Mason Bates, Delton and George W. Merchant, trustees, and Thomas Golding, Claggett and Speake, and Thomas H. Speake of the third part. And it's giving to George W. Merchant, the trustee. He is giving personal property, including 1/2 of a longboat named the Mary of Dumfries. This is for a payment in debts, for Mason Bates debts. In March of 1854, in the March of 1854 court, is a list of the sale made by George W. Merchant, trustee of Mason Bates. This was to be recorded on February 6, 1854. So it's beginning to look like he is no longer there in the personal property tax list by 1854, and it's looking like he is selling most of his belongings early in 1854. Many years later, an interesting Chancery Court case appears in Prince William County, Charles Bragg versus Mason Bates et al. And in that case, there is a memorandum of agreement, which never appears in a deed book, between Thomas Golding and Mason Bates, dated 6 September 1853, in which Mason Bates agreed to buy a 71-acre tract of land in Prince William County from Thomas Golding, and he agrees to pay in installments. Mason Bates, of color, acknowledged the writing in August of 1853. There were several paid promissory notes, 1854 through 1858. They were paid by Thomas H. Speake, trustee, and then no more. Notice the similarity of signatures on the 1853 Memorandum of Agreement and the 1860 letter from Mason Bates to his wife. Mason Bates never finished paying for the land, so the deed was never recorded. The signature on the Memorandum of Agreement most likely is that of Mason Bates himself. In 1867, there was a restraining order against Ann F. Speake and Eleanor Davis concerning the case of Bragg versus Bates. Ann Speake and Eleanor Davis were not to cut any timber off of the land. Now, an explanation of the new players is probably necessary. Thomas H. Speake became the trustee of Mason Bates. Speake died in 1862, leaving Ann as his widow. Charles Bragg was the owner by assignment of the bond of Golding, and Eleanor Davis was the tenant. A notice appeared in the Alexandria Gazette in 1868 that the land from the pending chancery suit of Bragg versus Bates was to be sold in October of 1868. It was about 70 acres, 2 1/4 miles from Dumfries on Ridge Road. But what happened to Louisa and the rest of the family? The 1860 Prince William County Census does not show a Louisa or a Lawson or a Mason Bates, but there is a Marshall Dean Boatman with Louisa, age 30, Lawson, age 12, Mason, age 10, and ditto marks for the last name. Could this be the correct family? The D.C. marriage records show that in July 1867, there was a marriage license between Henson Sanders and Louisa Dean. The published version of the marriage license shows that Louisa Dean was black. The 1870 D.C. Census shows Henson Sanders, Louisa Sanders, and Mason Bates, age 21. About the right age for the son Mason Bates, and several other Bates entries. The 1880 D.C. Census continues to show Henson Sanders and Louisa Sanders, though there are no Bates entries. The 1900 DC census shows Louisa Sanders, widow, born June 1829, and among the members of her household is a Lewis Sanders, grandson, born 1891. Remember this one. This one will help us a little bit later on. Lawson Bates' death certificate pulls it all together. It shows that he died March 2, 1914. His father was Mason Bates, and his mother was Louisa Cole, and he was buried in Joplin, Virginia. In checking Ron Turner's cemetery listing, you will find that Lawson Bates is buried in the Bates-Saunders Cemetery in Prince William Forest Park, along with a Lewis Sanders who was born in 1891. Remember the grandson? Thank you, John Griffin, for your donation of the letter from Mason Bates in California to his wife in Prince William County. Without that letter, we would not have been able to confidently track this family. Because of the length of this presentation, we will discuss the plat that was donated to RELIC at another time.